And after 60, this becomes even more critical. Your metabolism has slowed, your body heals more slowly, and your cells require higher quality fuel to keep functioning well. At this age, food isn't just food, it's medicine, or it's poison. Ultra-processed meals may look harmless on the plate, but inside, they chip away at your strength, energy, and longevity. But here's the good news. Whole foods don't have to mean complicated foods. Many people believe that eating healthier requires hours in the kitchen, expensive ingredients, or elaborate cooking. That's not true. Real nourishment can be simple. A pot of lentil soup, roasted vegetables with olive oil, fresh fruit, whole grains, nuts, and beans. With a little preparation, these meals last for days, offering true convenience without the cost. Think of it this way. Real convenience is not grabbing something instant. Real convenience is having a body that still wakes up strong at 70, still walks with ease at 75, still remembers names and faces clearly, not just items on a list. They are habits, memories, and comforts that once served us, but no longer serve the body we live in now. Letting them go is not about punishment, it's about love. It's about respecting the vessel that has carried you for over 6 decades and choosing to lighten its load. Every bite, every sip, every decision is a seed you plant for your future self. And what you choose to nourish yourself with today will grow into the strength, energy, and freedom you carry tomorrow. So when you sit at the table, remember this. You are not just eating for hunger, you are eating for life. Your story is not over at 60. In fact, it's waiting to be written with vitality, with dignity, and with the courage to live well. And then there's the hidden fat, specifically visceral fat around the belly. This is not the fat you simply see in the mirror. It's the fat that wraps around your organs, putting stress on your liver, your heart, and your digestive system. Sugary beverages are one of the biggest contributors to this invisible, dangerous fat. What starts as a soft belly becomes a deeper health risk that steals mobility and drains energy. But perhaps the greatest danger is how normalized these drinks have become. Many people don't even consider juice, soda, or sweetened teas to be treats. They're seen as everyday staples. And because they are liquid, it's easy to overlook them. You don't chew them, you don't feel full from them, and so you end up consuming far more sugar than you realize. That's why they are hidden enemies. Not just because of the sugar, but because of the way they sneak into daily life without resistance. The good news, replacing sugary drinks doesn't mean replacing joy. In fact, it can mean discovering a whole new kind of refreshment. Infused water with lemon, mint, or berries gives a crisp, natural flavor. Herbal teas soothe the body and calm the mind. Blended smoothies from whole fruits deliver nutrients with fiber that slows absorption and keeps you full. Even sparkling water with a splash of citrus can give you that fizz without the trap. Imagine this. Instead of your drink draining your energy, it could feed your energy. Instead of adding to your burden, it could lighten it. That's the shift waiting for you when you let go of sugary beverages. At 60 and beyond, every sip matters just as much as every bite. Sugary drinks may look harmless in a glass, but in your body, they're thieves. They steal bone strength, they steal heart health, they steal mental clarity, and you deserve better than that. So the next time you feel thirsty, ask yourself, is this drink helping me live longer, stronger, and freer, or is it stealing quietly from my future? That simple question can save you years of strength and vitality. We live in a world that worships convenience. Everything is made to be faster, easier, and more immediate. Ready in minutes, packaged for long shelf life, designed to fit into busy days. Ultra-processed foods, instant noodles, packaged snacks, frozen dinners, canned meals seem like solutions. They offer comfort, they save time, and for many, they've even become routine. But once you cross into your 60s, convenience often comes with a hidden cost that your body can no longer afford to pay quietly. Ultra-processed foods are built in factories, not farms. They're engineered to taste good, to last long, and to hook you with flavors that keep you coming back. But behind the packaging lies a list of preservatives, chemicals, additives, and unhealthy fats that your body doesn't recognize as real nourishment. Instead of feeding your cells, these foods confuse them. Instead of energizing you, they burden your system. Over time, they weaken your immunity, fuel chronic inflammation, and raise the risks of heart disease, diabetes, digestive problems, and even certain cancers. The problem is not just in the ingredients, it's in what's missing. Ultra-processed foods are stripped of the fiber, vitamins, and minerals that whole foods provide. They fill the stomach but starve the body. That's why so many people can eat a full packaged meal and still feel tired, restless, or hungry soon after. It's not that your body is ungrateful, it's that it's still waiting for real nourishment. The scary part, you don't always feel it. Salt doesn't warn you with immediate pain. It doesn't show up in the mirror. It works quietly, tightening the arteries, holding on to water in the body, making the heart pump harder day after day. You may not notice it until one morning when you're dizzy or when the doctor quietly says your blood pressure has climbed too high. That's why I call it invisible. It sneaks up, and by the time you notice, it has already left its mark. But here's the hopeful truth. Small changes in salt intake can make a huge difference, especially after 60. Choosing to limit high-sodium packaged foods, cutting down on canned soups, frozen meals, and salty snacks can lower blood pressure in just weeks. And lowering blood pressure isn't just about numbers on a chart. It's about protecting your memory, your eyesight, your energy, and even your ability to stay independent. Now, many people fear that reducing salt means sacrificing taste, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Flavor doesn't belong to salt. Flavor belongs to spices, herbs, citrus, garlic, ginger, peppers, and the hundreds of natural seasonings the earth provides. A squeeze of lemon, a dash of turmeric, fresh basil, roasted garlic. These bring meals alive in ways salt never could. And they don't come with the hidden cost of straining your heart. Think of it this way. Salt is easy. It's the shortcut to flavor. But after 60, shortcuts often come with consequences. Taking the longer path, seasoning with creativity, experimenting with herbs and natural flavors isn't just healthier, it's richer. It teaches you to enjoy food in new ways, to expand your palate, and to care for your body without feeling deprived. So excess salt isn't just a seasoning, it's a burden you don't need to carry. Your body has worked tirelessly for over 6 decades, and it deserves to be lightened, not weighed down by what hides in your meals. When you choose to season differently, you're not just protecting your heart. You're choosing life, vitality, and freedom from the silent chains salt can place on your future. Sugary drinks are one of the most deceptive dangers we face after 60 because they wear the mask of refreshment. They sparkle, fizz, and taste like instant energy. A cold soda on a hot afternoon, a glass of sweetened juice at breakfast, or even that energy drink that promises vitality, these beverages sell the illusion of life. But the truth is, they quietly steal it. When you drink a soda, a packaged juice, or any sugar-loaded beverage, you are essentially pouring processed sugar straight into your bloodstream. Unlike solid foods, which take time to digest, sugary drinks hit fast and hard. Your blood sugar spikes, your insulin rushes in to manage it, and before long, your body crashes. This constant roller coaster doesn't just leave you tired, it weakens your cells, exhausts your pancreas, and over time, paves the way for diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. After 60, your body's ability to process sugar slows down. Your bones are more vulnerable, your muscles need more protection, and your heart requires steadiness, not sudden shocks of sugar. Sugary drinks have also been linked to bone loss because they leach calcium from the body, making osteoporosis and fractures a real threat at this age. Every sip feels innocent, but the damage is silent and long-lasting. For many of us, red meat was a symbol of strength. It was the Sunday roast that brought the family together, the grilled steak that felt like reward after a long week, the quick sausage or hot dog at a gathering. It carried with it tradition, celebration, and a sense of being well fed. But by the time we reach 60, what once felt like a source of strength begins to quietly weigh us down in ways we cannot always see or feel immediately. Excess red meat, and especially processed meats like sausages, salami, and bacon, are heavy burdens for the body at this stage of life. The digestive system slows with age, and what was once handled with ease now takes longer, requiring more energy and placing more stress on the gut. Beyond digestion, studies have shown that processed meats are directly linked to higher risks of colon cancer, heart disease, and kidney strain. That means the very foods we often associate with nourishment can, if consumed in excess, quietly become a source of harm. The danger lies not only in what we see, like weight gain or sluggishness, but in what we cannot see. Every bite of highly processed meat is laced with sodium, preservatives, nitrates, and unhealthy fats that create silent damage in the body. They fuel inflammation, stress the kidneys, and elevate blood pressure. They also increase the risk of developing insulin resistance, which makes it harder to manage blood sugar levels, an especially critical issue after 60 when diabetes becomes more common. But perhaps the most overlooked impact is on energy and longevity. Heavy meat-based diets often leave you feeling full, but not fueled. You may sit back after a meal and feel satisfied, but notice that your energy dips, your body feels heavy, or your digestion becomes uncomfortable. That invisible weight isn't just the food, it's the strain your body is carrying silently inside. And yet, this is not about villainizing food or stripping away joy. The real invitation here is balance. Protein is essential, especially as we age and need to protect our muscles and bones. But protein doesn't have to come only from red or processed meats. There are lighter, cleaner, and kinder sources. Fish rich in omega-3s, beans, lentils, chickpeas, eggs, nuts, and even plant-based proteins. These foods give strength without leaving behind toxins. They sustain energy instead of depleting it. Think of your meals as investments. When you load your plate with lean proteins and colorful vegetables, you're not only feeding your present hunger, you're investing in your future clarity, your mobility, and your independence. That's a powerful shift, moving from eating out of habit to eating with vision. So when you turn 60, ask yourself, is this meal adding lightness to my future? Or is it adding weight I cannot yet see? Because the choices you make now are not just about today's comfort. They are about tomorrow's freedom. And freedom is worth far more than the fleeting pleasure of a processed sausage. Salt is tricky. It doesn't tempt us the way sugar does, and it doesn't feel indulgent the way fried foods do. Salt feels simple, necessary, even harmless. It's in nearly everything we eat, from the bread we toast in the morning to the soup we sip at night. And because it doesn't scream for attention, it often slips past our awareness. That's what makes it so dangerous. It's an invisible burden. After 60, the body naturally changes. The elasticity in the arteries begins to decrease, making them less forgiving of the pressure surges salt creates. What this means is that every extra pinch of salt, every hidden dose in packaged or restaurant foods is not just flavor, it's pressure. Pressure on your heart, pressure on your kidneys, pressure on your brain. High sodium intake is one of the leading causes of hypertension, which in turn is one of the greatest risk factors for strokes, heart attacks, and kidney disease. There's something about fried foods that feels irresistible. The sound of oil sizzling, the smell that fills the air, the golden crisp that cracks with the first bite. it taps into a primal sense of comfort. Many of us grew up with fried foods as part of family traditions, celebrations, or even those quick meals that save time after a long day. Fried chicken, pakoras, French fries, donuts. These foods carry not just flavor, but memories. But here's the uncomfortable truth. What feels comforting in the moment becomes costly over time. By the time you cross 60, your body doesn't recover from fried indulgences the way it once did. The oils used for frying, especially in restaurants and packaged foods, are often rich in trans fats and oxidized fats. These are the kinds of fats that harden your arteries, raise your bad cholesterol, LDL, and lower your good cholesterol, HDL. What does that mean? Every fried bite quietly increases the risk of heart attack, stroke, and clogged blood vessels. And it's not just your heart. Fried foods burden your digestive system. They're heavy, slow to process, and leave you feeling bloated or lethargic. At an age where energy and mobility matter more than ever, that's like willingly placing a weight on your own shoulders. The truth is, the crunch on your tongue often becomes stiffness in your joints, pain in your chest, or fatigue in your body. The danger is also hidden in reused oils, the ones that are reheated multiple times in fast food places or even in some homes. Each time oil is reused, it becomes more toxic, producing compounds that damage cells and fuel inflammation. This kind of inflammation is a silent thief. It doesn't always announce itself with immediate pain, but over months and years, it weakens your immune system, increases your risk of diabetes, and even contributes to memory decline. But here's the good news. Joy doesn't. To need to leave the table just because fried foods should. The key is to separate the method from the memory. You can still have that crisp, that golden crunch, that sense of satisfaction without the sabotage. Air frying, baking with a drizzle of olive oil, roasting vegetables until they caramelize. All of these give you the comfort you crave without the poison that hides in deep frying. Think about it this way. Every meal after 60 is a small vote for how you want to live the next 20 years. Do you want quick moments of taste that steal your health, or would you rather invest in food that adds years to your story, energy to your steps, and clarity to your mind? Deep-fried foods are silent saboteurs because they don't harm you instantly. They wear you down quietly, bit by bit. But awareness is power. Once you know the cost, you can choose differently. And those choices, repeated day after day, don't just extend your life. They improve the quality of the years you have left. So let your body and future self be the reason you put down the fryer, because your health is too precious to be traded for a temporary crunch. There's something deeply humbling about crossing into your 60s. It's not the number of candles on the cake, it's the weight of wisdom you carry, the stories your body holds, and the courage it takes to keep showing up to life every day. But with age also comes responsibility, not just to keep going, but to keep going well. And one of the most profound choices we make daily is what we put on our plate. Sugar has always had a way of whispering to us. It's in the celebrations of childhood birthdays, the comfort of a late-night dessert, the sweetness of tea shared with friends. It doesn't just touch the tongue, it touches memory, nostalgia, and sometimes even love. But here's the hard truth. What once felt